What it do, peeps? Beat Chef. I just wanted to jump on here real quick. Sydney Colson had successful knee surgery. Sophie Cunningham tore her MCL, and she revealed on her podcast, and I'll leave a link to her podcast, that she will be having knee surgery for her MCL tear on Friday. So prayers to both of those ladies, first of all. This week coming up, one game, Friday, Minnesota at home, which is good because Minnesota's coming off of a tough loss against New York last night. But they turn around, they play in Minnesota on one day, on Sunday. Next week, they got Seattle on Tuesday, and on Friday they got the Sparks, followed by the Valkyries to close out the month. But Sophie Cunningham said some interesting things on her podcast. One, she said the play that Bria Hartley did wasn't malicious. She said she's not a dirty player. Another thing she said was that that's her friend. Sophie, there are no friends in this league, especially when you come and play for the Indiana Fever. You said the weeks before on your podcast that they come at you in a Fever uniform. You said on your podcast that you came at Caitlin Clark, that y'all's locker room talked about Caitlin Clark. So with that being said, if you're going to talk on that microphone, at least be consistent with your message. You don't have any friends in the league. If you do, it might be Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hall, and that's about it. Basically, Indiana Fever is an enemy of the state. Sophie, another thing, in prison, which is basically what y'all kind of play like, a prison basketball league. In prison, when people want to send a message from the outside, they send a kite. Somebody sent a kite to Connecticut, and they executed an order. That's just my thoughts. Sophie, you got to understand. Earlier this year, you played Connecticut. J.C. Sheldon dove at your ankle and took out Sydney Colson, and both of y'all were out for a number of games from one person, and she played for the Connecticut Sun. You came back and you slammed J.C. Sheldon in retaliation. You played the Phoenix Mercury again. Phoenix went at your ankle. You came out of that game with the black eye. Before that, you were talking about DeWanna Bonner. After that game, you were still talking about DeWanna Bonner. That's when I think the kite was sent. You also spoke about Paige Beckers. The league finds you. Everybody was sending messages, you weren't getting them. The league said, nope, can't talk about Paige Beckers. And then the next day, or 2 days later, you play the Connecticut Sun again. The kite was sent. The order was executed. Your MCL is gone. Now you've gotten the message. And that's why your tone has changed. Sophie, you telling people to lay off of Bria Hartley ain't going to matter. Bria Hartley's social media platforms are all open. Her Twitter's open. Her Instagram's open. She don't care. If she was your friend and she knew she was getting that heat publicly, she would have reached out to you publicly. She hasn't done that. Nor did you say she's reached out to you privately. You're in the lion's den. You understand that comes with playing with Caitlin Clark. Kissing butt now is not going to help you. You're sitting on the couch like us that are watching the Fever play. Stand on business. Stand on what you said before. Don't cater and don't crater to the pressure of trying to appease the folks that took you out. It's not going to work. Leave your thoughts below, comment below, like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, peace.